Morning, everybody. Sitting back, I was listening to Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is like a financial advisor guru, Judeo-Christian values espouser. It's an interesting guy. Has a very mellow voice to listen to, and I enjoy. He's helped a lot of people get out of debt and do things. But they were asking today about the worker shortage and how we solve that. And they had, of course, some talking head that works for the Ramsey organization. And the talking head is like, well, to get people back to work, we have the quit economy now, where people have gone in and just quit their jobs because maybe during the pandemic they had a chance to sit at home and say, my job really sucks. Okay, my job really sucks. Yeah, I'll go back to work. And then I'm just, the second the boss looks at me cross-eyed, I'm hitting the door. That's exactly what somebody did in Louisville, Kentucky. At the McDonald's down there, he got so angry he went home on his printer, printed up something that said, "I'm quitting because this job is really crappy." And he came back and taped it onto the order speaker at the drive-thru at the McDonald's. And it's become a very popular meme amongst the working classes now, and it's kind of funny, but it's kind of pathetic, this worker shortage. But I was kind of intrigued because Dave Ramsey's talking head said, hey, the only thing you got to do is just make work more exciting, make it a place where people want to come into work, pay people a good wage. And I thought to myself, wow, if it were just so simple as that. Here's some guys that have had success. Dave Ramsey, they've built an organization where they've now become insulated from the real world. And they think that the culture that built their success is the culture that can be exported to the rest of the economy, and follow that model of people that are engaged and have fulfilling work to do are happy people, and wages and benefits therefore start to decline in importance because they're being actuated and excited to come to work in the morning. Well, I'll tell you, you tell Dave Ramsey and company, don't work in the service sector like I do. For many years I worked support medical work, and then the last 5 years or so I was doing support here and there on a contracted basis. Then I formally signed a contract to be a 1099 support worker in April, when the pandemic hit last year. And I tell you, it just gets worse by the day. We used to have 4 or 5 people that would go around and do support, compliance, credentialing, waste hauling and management, all the things that you need to do to keep a facility compliant with law. And even at $25, $28 an hour starting, they still can't find people to do this. There's something going on, okay? And it's necessitated me having to continue working now a year and a half after I wanted to retire. So it's not a question of making that work more exciting. It's not a question of making, as Dave Ramsey and company say, making that workplace job more exciting. If we take poor McDonald's, which is always the poster child for the service, low-wage restaurant industry, I'm sorry, Dave, there's only so many ways to make a French fry exciting in the fry basket, or a hamburger, a thing of drama on the grill. Okay, I don't care if you bring the Radio City Rockettes in once an hour to do a line dance across the kitchen area of that restaurant. There's no way that you're going to make that work exciting. It's dog work that's got to be done for a basic paycheck. Let's be real. A lot of people aren't returning to work. There's something like record number of job openings, and yet we still have 8 million people that are unemployed. Something's going on. And that something is going on is the creation. 40%, think about this, heard the other day that 40% of the world's money supply has been created in the last year. In other words, the money supply has exploded that much money being printed, injected into the economy to fight this pandemic. That's had consequences. That's what's driving people crazy right now, and they don't know it. They're like the frog that's in the pot, that the temperature is being increased, and they don't know that they haven't really sensed yet that they're being boiled alive in this economy. And I hate to use that analogy, but it's very true. In Sonoma County, for example, the average monthly rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,980 a month. Okay, now let's say that you're earning $15 at a fast food place. You're probably not going to really pay federal or state taxes on that salary. And if you have a kid, you might get an earned income credit or two back on that. So let's say all of your money can go towards your expenses and you don't have to pay the tax guy much of anything. Well, we know you got to pay your car, you got to pay your car insurance, you got to pay your electric, you got to pay water, other things, okay? But the thing is, at $1,980 per month for an average 2-bedroom apartment rent, do the math, and you'll find out that you need to work 3 40-hour weeks in a month just to cover that rent. And we wonder why 2 or 3 people in a household hold jobs. Is the room there to raise the wages and things? The number of small businesses in this country is down 38% year over year. You tell me. Tell me. What we're seeing here is really the starting to be the visible collapse of a service economy here. That there's just not enough money to sustain what would need to be done to make sure that people are having a living wage. And it's a very, very tough dynamic to think about getting employees and holding employees. And it's got nothing to do with making the workplace exciting. You know, what's going to happen now is my next prediction is, and we've seen this start to happen in the restaurant trades, is people quitting en masse. We have what's called the quitting economy now. And I think what's going to happen next is similar to what happened in the 1930s with the rise of unionization. The piecework rate in so many industries got so, people felt like they were being worked to death in the manufacturing trades in particular. And they just started to rebel against the physical demands of work and the hours and the speed ups on lines. And they finally unionized, really starting with all the labor strife of U.S. Steel back in the early 1900s, and the birth of the labor movement, the International Workers of the World, and then the CIO, and finally the AFL-CIO, and it really changed manufacturing. Some will say it did a lot to drive manufacturing offshore because union demands reached such a level that it made United States industry uncompetitive. It's probably something to that too. But here we sit with the service sector, and we're now at the point where we're going to start really rationalizing this service sector now, in my opinion. You're going to see places just shutting down because they just can't make a go of it with the workers they have. And you can talk about robots, and intelligent robots will do the work. Yeah, but you know what I mean? That's going to cost a fortune for franchisees, if that ever comes to pass, to have mechanization and of operations, a long distance between now and then. And I think you're going to have this push towards unionization, because for the first time in my lifetime, I've really sensed that workers, particularly at the lower end, really have the upper hand now when it comes to the job market. and they're pressing hard now, and they're getting things like bonuses and what company does, other ones have to do to stay competitive. I was going through the In-N-Out burger the other night, and I was shocked. In-N-Out has this culture of being a fun place to work, a great reputation. They pay their employees well, and I go through, and here's a sign hanging up, hiring $15 an hour just to walk through the door, $17 an hour if you have some basic skills or something like that. I was like, wow, that's really telling. When a place like In-N-Out Burger is now having to sort of a little friction between finding employees they need and serving customers. So a lot of fast food people and service people, hotels, fast food restaurants will tell you they're doing the work of 1.5 and 2 people now just to stay, and it's getting frightening out there. It really is. So if we have this drive towards unionization of these industries, it's certainly fertile now, and social media makes it very possible that could spread like a firestorm when that happens. The consequences are going to be great. And I think you're going to see a lot of shuttering of the service economy here, simply because this country's just not productive enough and doesn't produce enough things to sustain the standard of living, and we've just gone a long way on borrowed money to sort of fill that gap. But that can't continue indefinitely. The piper has to be paid. And despite Dave Ramsey's simple-minded ideas and his organization's simple-minded ideas about the workplace and making it more exciting and fulfilling, afraid it's not that simple. Hey, I'd love to see your comments down in the comment section down below. I think it's a great topic to cover because I'm right in ground zero. The middle of that is the support industry for the medical field, and I've certainly seen the way that it has impacted me, hurt my morale dramatically, caused me to be guilted about wanting to now enjoy my life in my in my so-called golden years. So it's quite a dynamic at work, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. What do you think about the worker shortage? Just lazy people? Poor job choices? Or do you think that there's something bigger force at work here? And this labor shortage has a long, long way to play out. It's becoming a very unaffordable world right now, and those kind of workers are the easiest ones to be left behind. Hey, I look forward to your comments, and your thumbs up are appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this morning's little discussion. Try to do these once in a while, and thanks so much for watching today.